What are some misconceptions around, hypnosis or maybe yoga, in general, nervous system healing, anything like that? And kind of how do you address those?
First of all, yes, hypnosis, we've got a lot of myths to dispel a lot of times there. Am I going to turn into a zombie? Are you taking control of me? Is it what I've seen in the movies? I'm scared
Sounds
to
like
look in there because I don't know what might be hiding. Is a valid concern as well.
welcome back, friends. This is PCOS Unfiltered, the show where we cut through the noise, ditch the quick fixes, and talk about what it really takes to heal from the inside out. I'm your host, Lindsay, nurse, health coach, and a fierce believer that your diagnosis is just one chapter, not the whole story. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible connection between the mind and body with someone who truly bridges science and soul, Paige Turner Gordon. She is a certified hypnotherapist, yoga instructor, and author of the book Pain Reset Without Pills. She's also the founder of a brand new healing studio coming spring 2026 that blends neuroscience, ancient wisdom, and body based practices to help people rewire pain and reclaim their peace. Throughout these episodes with Paige, we'll talk about how your nervous system shapes your healing, what the latest neuroscience is showing about pain perception, and how ancient practices like yoga, breathwork, and hypnosis actually change the brain. So, whether you're struggling with chronic pain, stress hormonal imbalances, or just that feeling of being stuck in your body, this conversation is going to show you that your body isn't broken, it's communicating, and there's a way to listen. As always, the content shared on PCOS Unfiltered, Nourish, Heal, Thrive is for informational and educational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are not intended to serve as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or treatment plan. The information shared is based on personal experience and expert interviews and is not a substitute for professional medical guidance. Now, let's dive in. So, what are some misconceptions around, hypnosis or maybe yoga, in general, nervous system healing, anything like that? And kind of how do you address those?
Okay, I love this question. Okay, first of all, yes, hypnosis, we've got a lot of myths to dispel a lot of times there. Am I going to turn into a zombie? Are you taking control of me? Is it what I've seen in the movies? I'm scared
Sounds
to
like
look in there because I don't know what might be hiding.
Mhm.
Or is a valid concern as well. But we make sure that we practice. So it's as simple as just taking a body scan. So it's really can be very much less uh, mystical than one might portray in the films or even on stage, which is is a theatrical variation, and has a lot of factors to play that have really nothing to do with the therapeutic setting. So if you can relax and close your eyes and watch a TV show and not hear me call your name, then you're in a trance half the time anyway. And that's what people don't realize is that we are kind of stuck in that brainwave state.
Mhm.
So just letting you know that, it's a calming, relaxing process where you're actually in control the whole time, and you get to relax and take a cat nap. So usually that's like, okay, I will take a nap. I never get permission to do that. So then with yoga, on the other hand, there is a lot of real trepidation surrounding movement of the body and the expectations of yoga. And a lot of people have had negative experiences with being, telling someone that I have these physical limitations, but then they're still calling them out in front of the class and embarrassing them or something like that has happened to people. And I just say, watch, where you go for if you're gonna do a yoga practice of your own, make sure you know like what kind of class it is. Do something that's restorative or gentle or beginners. Don't try to cram yourself into these sweaty studios if that's not for you, because yoga is as simple as starting with the breath, that is already you're practicing a yogic technique. So you don't have to move a muscle or a finger to actually start your practice. But when I do move into the physical practice, so we really focus on somatics and how to get into the body. So you're really getting present and connecting. That's part of the mind body connection process. And um, when so when sorry, I totally lost my train of thought on that one. It was good too. Um, no, okay, because oh, yes, for yoga, as far as somatics versus like going through a vinyasa practice. I feel like with traditional yoga or even, hatha yoga, gentle hatha yoga, or um, most prominent practices are about postures and poses. And sometimes it can feel like it's about perfection. Whereas the way that we do things with somatic yoga and in the pain reset program is about principles and practice. So you can do grounding if you are lying on your face on the floor. Okay. That's the best kind of grounding you can get, just face plant. Okay. So and wallow around, like, have some fun with the animals on the floor. That's grounding. Or, you can really feel very grounded as you're running up that mountain. So, everywhere in between, you learn these principles of movement and how to express the held actual tension and physical gunk that gets in there, the cortisol and all the stress hormones and the tension from um, from those automatic responses. We got to get those out. So we use principles of movement to do that no matter how you're feeling. So if you got a broken arm, you can work with the rest of the body. If you have physical restrictions, you work with the breath, like, and we build up from there. So it's really easy. And you don't have to cram yourself into any positions to do it. You can, though, if you want. If you want to do that, then that is exactly where you're ready for, right? So that's your grounding, is to see if you can feel grounded as you're in your flying crow.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. So as we kind of start to wrap up a little bit, if you could pick one foundational principle from your book that you want every listener to walk away with, what would it be?
that it's not an answer outside of you. This is simply a path back to yourself.
I
That
love
you have the answers all along. And that you have greater healing capacity than you probably imagine, or than we can even fathom, even with our technology and science as it stands now.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I got chills.
Thank you. That was such a good question. I was like, that really, it's a way back to yourself. And I've had people say that it felt like a light in the darkness when they didn't see a way out. And you're trapped away from yourself. It feels like you're trapped within, but it's really coming back to yourself and your own intuition um, that is connected to your higher self, your higher power, your, connection with earth, whatever that is, because this is, it doesn't matter what religion or practice that you have, because these are your own inner blessings to do so. And look at animals. I love teaching cat yoga, and I love using animals as an example, because look, what do? They stretch before they get out of bed. They know to do that because they're not going to go pull a muscle. Dogs don't get pulled muscles. I mean, sometimes maybe if they're very spastic, right? So, and then other animals they know to shake it off. They know to move their limbic system to get the stress hormones out so that they can literally reset and heal themselves. They know how to heal themselves without intervention. So we do too. We've just lost track of it a little bit.
We don't listen like they do. It's so instinctual, but they, they have it. We as humans, I feel like, don't listen to our bodies when they're telling
Yeah,
us
yeah,
something.
we've traded that off for society, and society is so fun. We love it, but we can have both.
Hmm.
We can do it. We can find our way back. I believe it. I see it all the time, and it's so beautiful to connect and to. I also just want to say, it's not to shame or guilt anyone or make them feel like, oh, I don't. How do I not know that? It's not your fault that we haven't been taught this. It's not your fault that you ended up in a situation where you're not feeling great because of uh, all the reasons, because all of the world that tells you that you don't have those answers within. So it's not about feeling like you're missing something, but just about maybe this is your cue to find that path back to yourself and find what works for you.
I love that. So, what are some habits or daily practices that you personally do to kind of stay connected to your nervous system and, that help you each day?
Okay, yeah, I suffer from some low back issues from a fall. I have some other I don't see, I don't like to say I have anything, so I don't really talk about it too much because I don't give it very much. I teach this. Don't say don't own it, and
I
don't
love
name it unless it's serving you to do so. So I'm just gonna say that I get achy, okay?
it.
And really, so I catch myself first. It's mindfulness and go. You can literally hear your thoughts going. Well, I don't feel very good today. Maybe I should just stay in bed. Well, wouldn't it just be better if I just rested? And maybe I'm just not gonna feel better. And sometimes that is true. You can need to rest. Sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to do that. So it's about listening and seeing what's good there. Because also, I feel like I do the same thing when I'm wanting to push forward. Just tell myself, give yourself permission to relax. So it's that balance, and it's about catching those automatic thoughts, noticing the emotions attached, just getting really clear and present, and then using the tools. So use the breath, start small with movements, and start by grounding, then expanding. So if you don't feel like moving at all, just start a little micro movements, start to flow, move your spine. Um, and if you really want, you can always listen to a guided meditation. I teach meditation, and I prefer guided meditations, especially from my hypnotherapy mentors. Make the most beautiful guided imagery, and I'm trained in guided imagery too. So that's what we do. Is I have like a midday resets, midday motivation, or sleep induction. So just looking for those tools that will lead back to the internal tools. And then, yeah, the anxiety, it's just learning. It's wild. It really is learning to have the breath as the go to and to recognize those thoughts. Uh, I think that there's been like these wild solar flares recently, and people are talking about the Schumann resonance frequency. I'm not a huge expert on that, but I do look into it, and I feel like a lot of people are experiencing it. And I was experiencing ringing in my ears, which I wasn't sure. They said that's a symptom, and I was feeling like my heart was having heart palpitations a little bit. Like it was like anxiety was just kind of building slowly, how it does, and it's like starts to get up to here. And I'm going, okay, recognize that, name it. It's anxiety. Does it have a reason, or is it just happening out of nowhere? It's just happening out of nowhere. I don't really have a reason to feel anxious right now. Okay, so then hit it with the breath. Okay, no, this is anxiety. Breathing is not going to help me with that. That's what your mind says. Breathing is not going to do anything to this. This is wild. You know, no. breathe into it, meet it, grounding and grounding, grounding, grounding. So that's what I say it 3 times: grounding, grounding, grounding. And if you can go outside for that, change your environment. All these little tips and tricks uh, that you can do, but those are really all surrounding you getting in touch with what works for you and getting in touch with those feelings and acknowledging them and not shaming yourself for them, because that's where we get stuck more than anything. There's something wrong with you, Paige. You're not supposed to feel anxiety. You teach people to fix anxiety. You're a fraud. We all have that, right? And then it goes, oh, actually, no, this is perfectly normal. Everyone in the universe gets this. You are experiencing this. This is how it makes you feel. What can we do to address and change that so that we can not just force this next thing to be accomplished, but to meet it with our presence and with our with bring some calming energy when you know that others are in need of that. So yeah, it's practice, 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 and it is, and it's principles, and it's learning yourself, and it's messing up, and it's healing isn't linear.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
It's
So
yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah. It's being
Yeah.
surprised when you thought you were healed and all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere. But now what's different is you didn't fail and go back. This is still there. And now you've come that far with these
Exactly.
tools and these resources that now you can not only address it and grow past it, but you can start to recognize when it's happening and help others to get to that space too.
You just have to be consistent. I mean, yeah, that's a key part of it all is just being consistent. And there's going to be off days and there's going to be not so perfect days. And like you said, life is going to happen, but you still just have to keep pushing forward and be consistent, and know that you will get there for sure.
I love it. I love that. Yeah. And then, when exactly when life does jump up and bite you like that, you have a growing community and you have your resources. You can call they could call me, we could call each other. And
Mhm.
right? Like I definitely might need some nutrition advice coming into the winter. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough to eat well when you don't have a garden outside and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. Seasonal eating.
yeah,
Um,
and I really haven't ever I have not dealt with what you deal with. I think it's beautiful that you're helping women with this disease and this disorder that people don't really like to talk about, and they might feel shame and guilt around it as well. So I think it's so cool that you are focused on that. I have not personally had anyone present with that specific thing, but wow, there are so many more growing types of diseases and disorders. How can anyone keep up? But what we do know is that all of these practices will lead you back to the healing wherever the hurt came from.
yeah. Yeah. I love that. Is there one book besides your own or maybe piece of research that you tend to reference a lot or like, just
I feel
really
like Dr. Sarno really paved the way for he was like the doctor in the medical field who in the 80s and he really looked into psychosomatic or like mind um the mind as a source for physical pain and connecting that without calling people crazy. So even though we've moved a long way from where he started there, I feel like that's a huge step of some research that we can gain. But I always go back to my hypnotherapy practices. It's so wild because it is hard to get into a niche when you have such a powerful tool of mind body that you realize it kind of can help a lot of different elements of life. So to specialize in pain, it was just a calling that I kept seeing people in pain. It was that experience of my healing my pain, of me like learning to work with pain as a friend rather than to fight it. So that um that alone is, covers so many things. I feel like within your practice, it's like, so we meet all of those and we work with the individual because it is a different path towards back to yourself for each person too.
Yeah. Okay, last question. So where can they find your book? And I'll link everything in the show notes too, but your website, like how can they connect with you?
Yeah, I would love to say this because on Amazon, unfortunately, the if you purchase directly from Amazon, you get the black and white version. If you purchase directly from me, you get the color version, which they're the same. I mean, the words are all the same. So you're gonna get the benefits. There's only it feels just like a little bit more of a warm hug. And what I've been doing for people, if you order off my site, which I've linked to everywhere, uh, as well as my socials, I go live and all those things. What I'm doing, especially for the holidays, because I feel like this is gonna be a really good gift for certain people is I will, of course, inscribe whatever dedication you like, whether it's to you or a loved one. And then I have taking my little bookmarks and
Oh yeah.
looking at your condition, looking at your experience or your loved one, if they happen to just not be feeling great mentally, emotionally, or in the hospital, whatever this holiday season or any season really. But so I'll find out what's going on and I go through and bookmark the practices that I think will be the most effective. So rather than having to guess and skip around or start with the whole program, they can go straight to a practice that I think is going to benefit them immediately and where I want them to start. So it's kind of like a really warm hug when you get it in the mail and could
Yes, it
maybe
is.
could maybe make someone feel a little better this season, but also for us to be able to cope with the anxiety that of all the pressures. It's and for me, here's another way that I'm using it. The cold. I'm not good at cold. I am like really putting all of my practices in order to like be a winter person this season. I'm going to do it. I'm going to enjoy it. Okay. I'll let you know how that goes.
I love it. Love it. Well, that's a good way to wrap this up. So thank you so much. This was awesome. So much good stuff. Um,
Yes, you're amazing. Your energy is just like, I know, I feel like we could just talk forever. And I feel like we would need a voice recorder for our next book.
I know. Yes, yes. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. And like, thank all of your audience. Like, Lindsay, you're amazing. Really look forward to connecting in the future with all of your cool moving and shaking that you have going on too.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Wow, what a powerful conversation. I love how Paige blends modern neuroscience with the wisdom of ancient healing, reminding us that healing isn't about fixing the body, but reconnecting with it. If you love this episode, make sure to grab a copy of her book, Pain Reset Without Pills, and check out her online offerings at hypnoyogaonline.com. You'll find everything from mind-body workshops to one-on-one sessions designed to help you reset your nervous system and rediscover what safe feels like in your own skin. And if today's episode sparked something in you, a moment of awareness, a breath of relief, or even curiosity, that's where healing begins. Until next time, remember, your body is not the enemy, it's the guide. I'm Lindsay, and this is PCOS Unfiltered. Nourish, Heal, Thrive.